Destroyer and Edge of Sanity was a double feature recently released by Scream Factory. A long awaited one because I know Destroyer one time was announced and then something happened and it never came out. Destroyer is probably the one I'm going to talk about the most out of the two here because, frankly, it's, in my opinion, the better film out of the two. Both feature Anthony Perkins, although Edge of Sanity features him more promptly than he is in Destroyer. But like I said, between the two, Destroyer is more my type of movie. Edge of Sanity, I'll talk a little bit about it in brief, but we're going to mostly talk about Destroyer here because I really, really like that one a lot. Destroyer stars football player Alonzo. Yeah, I'm sure you'll recognize him when you see him. He's got one of them faces, and he's playing like this, kind of like a horror show or a shocker type plot. The movie opens up, and he's about to be executed. And, he's murdered all these people, and they take him to the electric chair, and things happen. But then, in a small spoilerish part there, that ends up being a dream, and it turns out that the people that are having a dream, the chick, is like the stunt lady, and her boyfriend works on. They both work together, but the boyfriend's like doing this movie, he's a writer for this movie that they're shooting in now the defunct prison where the killer was really supposed to be executed or whatever. And she's kind of freaking out, but she goes with it, and they go there, and Anthony Perkins is the director of the movie, and they've got their typical problems, but then things start happening. The warden shows up, and he's not really pleased with some of the stuff that the writer guy's doing. He ends up biting it pretty early. And then, you're trying to figure out, well, what is going on? Is it the guy back from the dead? Is he like a shocker? Is there somebody else doing it? What's going on? And then you kind of see some connections between, the killer and some other stuff. And it's fun. I mean, the first half of it may drag a little bit, but the last half of it, it just seems to be they just threw it all against the wall to see what sticks. And for the most part, most of it sticks. There's some pretty cool effects. It's got that 80s vibe for sure, which is I mean, pretty good because it is an 80s film. 1988 to be exact. I mean, I guess the way you could put it, if you've seen a lot of horror films from 1988, they kind of have a certain vibe to them, and Destroyer has that kind of vibe to it. I don't know why they didn't use like the original artwork that has the football player guy's face on this guy. Maybe it's a copyright thing, I don't know, but that is a pretty cool little cover there for that. And he does use this big weapon in the movie, and it got some twists and turns. It's got some of that typical 80s stuff that I like. It's kind of like a supernatural slasher in some ways. Like I said, there's some weird stuff happening in the prison, and it all eventually makes sense. And like I said, it's I think, the best movie you're going to get out of this combo pack. So some people may beg to differ, and some people may be more a fan of Anthony Perkins' performance in Edge of Sanity, where he plays it's basically a twist on the Jekyll and Hyde thing, but it also mixes in some Jack the Ripper, and he's having these weird sexually explicit type dreams, and they get darker, and he gets darker, and like I said, Jekyll Hyde meets Jack the Ripper. That's exactly like the way the plot goes, and while it's creative enough, it just didn't do much for me for some reason. Although it looks better, I think from a Blu-ray standpoint, it looks a little better than the story. Although the story does look good, but it just wasn't my thing. I kind of got a little bored with it. I didn't get bored with Destroyer, so. As a combo pack, it's a good combination, I think. Although, like I mentioned, they both share Anthony Perkins, but Destroyer is probably the best one. It doesn't have him as much. Looking on the back box, it's been a while since I actually watched these, but there really is no extras. It's an uncut version of Edge of Sanity there, new transfer for Destroyer, which is the R-rated cut. Like I said, no extras of note, but good release nonetheless because Destroyer is fun, and I think if you like slashers and if you like Shocker and House 3, aka Horror Show, you'll like Destroyer because it's kind of in that same boat. Edge of Sanity, maybe more of a complex type deal, and maybe better made overall, but wasn't as exciting to me. But overall, I say pick it up anyway, especially if you're really into Scream Factory releases.